Okay, now please come to question number 9. The company proposes to sell 10-year debenture, underline 10-year, of rupees 10,000 each. The company would pay rupees 1,000 at the end of every year and will pay interest annually at 15% on the outstanding amount. Determine the present value of the debenture issue if the capitalization rate is 18%. So this is similar to the previous question. This bond has a 10-year life. Face value is 10,000. Every year they are going to pay 1,000. So after 10 years the balance will become 0. And the coupon is 15%. So first year you will calculate on 10,000. Then you will calculate on 9,000, 8,000 and like that. And discount rate this time is 18%. So tell me, if discount rate is 18% and coupon rate is 15%, what will be the final answer? Below 10,000 or more than 10,000? So the answer is, my final answer will be less than 10,000 because discount rate is more than the coupon rate. So let us see whether it will happen or not. So take out your notebook. Please take out your notebook. Write down question number 9. Calculation of present value of debenture. Calculation of present value of debenture. Year, amount outstanding, interest at the rate of 15%, principal repayment, total cash flow, then discounting factor at the rate of 18%, and the last column write present value. Write column numbers also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is equal to 3 plus 4. 6 and 7 is equal to 5 into 6. 7 is equal to 5 into 6. Now draw the format fast. Draw the lines. So let us start now. First you will write in year column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amount outstanding column, you start with 10,000, reduce it by 1,000 every year. So 9,000, 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 and 1,000. And then interest at the rate of 15%. So this time you might have to use calculator. 15% of 10,000, 1,500, right? 15% of 9,000, 1,350. 15% of 8,000 is 1,200. 15% of 7,000 is 1,050. 15% of 6,000, 900, then 750, 600, 450, 300, 150. Check this interest column, right? Principal repayment is 1,000 rupees 10 times. So just write down 1,000, 1,000 10 times. 1,000, 1,000 10 times you have written. Now total cash flow will be the sum of these two columns. Just add it without calculator try. 1500 plus 1000, 2500. Without calculator you can do it. 2350, 2200, 2050, 1900, 1750, 1600, 1450, 1300, 1150. Okay, and now you compute the discounting factor. 1 divided by 1.18 equal to 1 divided by 1.18 equal to 0.8475. Press equal to and write the number. So use both hand. Left hand press calculator equal to, right hand factor write down. Those who are lefty, reverse. 7182, 6086, 5158, 4371, 3704, 3139, 2660, 2255 and 1911. After this, memory clear, all clear, and then what you will do, you will multiply these two numbers and take the total, right? So begin 2500 into 0.8475 equal to memory plus. Write down the answer yourself, you will get 2118.75. 2350 into 0.7182 equal to memory plus 1687.77. And then you continue this process and take the total of the last column. Do it carefully. We are going to do lot of practice, because one of the areas where the students are making error is the calculation part, where basic calculations are also done wrongly. So what is the total of the last column? $9,082.38. So you will notice here that we have got less than 10,000 rupees as answer. Now I am going to make a small change in such type of problem. So dear student, please come to next question number 10. Jagat Industries Limited has raised rupees 50 crore through an issue of 9% bond. So 9% underline, this 9% is coupon rate. Each bond has a face value of 500 rupees. So this time the bond has a different face value. Usually it is 1000 or 100, but this time it is 500. So you can do the calculation either for all the 50 crore rupees, or you can do the calculation only for this 500 rupees. So we will take one bond and accordingly solve. So in the first year the interest will be 9% of 500, that is 45, and this bond has a 10-year term to maturity. So again it is going to take some time. As per the terms of the issue, each bond is redeemable in, understand, each bond is redeemable in 4 equal installment. 4 equal installment means 500 divided by 4. So they will pay 125 4 times. But when? From the end of the 7th year, means 7, 8, 9, 10. They are going to pay 125 125, 125. First 6 year, that is 1-6, there is no redemption. The redemption begins from 7th year onwards and it goes up to 10th year. Is it right? You are required to find out the price of the bond. Find out the price of the bond if the YTM, what is YTM? Right now YTM means you write down yield to maturity, yield, Y-I-E-L-D, yield to maturity, and which we are going to use as a required return, that is we are going to use it as a discount rate. I am going to explain yield to maturity in subsequent pages. So for the time being, just take it as a discount rate. We'll come to this in detail. It's one of the main aspects of this topic. For the time being, here YTM means just use it as a discount rate. And one more question they have asked, what is the current yield? This question we will solve later. That is, after learning about current yield, I will come to this question. I promise, I will come to this question, and that time we will find out the current yield, because we have not yet discussed current yield part. So, dear student, let us solve in the book itself, and those who want to solve in the notebook, please go ahead. Understand the format. Format is exactly the same. Year, principal sum outstanding, interest at the rate of 9%, repayment of the principal sum, total cash flow, discounting factor at the rate of 13%, and discounted cash flow. Right, same format. Please write down the heading: year, principal sum outstanding, then interest at the rate of 9%, repayment of principal sum, total cash flow, discounting factor, and DCF. Now write down year column. I will explain the year column. 1-6 you can write together. Otherwise, students, what they do, they write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No point, because first 6 years there is no redemption. You only have to repay you have to only pay the interest part. So if the cash flows are equal, you can use it as an annuity and save time, space, energy, efforts. 7, 8, 9, 10 you will write separately. Why? Because redemption will start. So cash flow of year 7, 8, 9, 10 will be different. Okay. So after this, principal sum outstanding. The purpose of this column is to find out the coupon at 9%. First 6 year 500. The purpose of this column is to calculate interest till the end of 7th year. Now this is important. Here I have seen in the previous batches students go wrong. They write here 375. No, you have not yet redeemed the bond till the end of 7th year. Till the end of 7th year, 500 rupees is outstanding. After paying 125, then in the beginning of the next year, the principal will reduce. So 125 I will reduce here. This column only serves one purpose, to calculate the interest. Interest is calculated on the outstanding amount till the end of that year. Then minus 125, 250, again minus 125, you get 125. If you take 125 reduction from here, then in the 10th year you will find that the balance has become 0. And do you mean to say that in the 10th year we will not pay any interest? No. So this is the correct presentation. Till the end of year 7, 500 was outstanding. So up to year 7, interest will be paid on 500. Now please write down 9% of 500, 45, same 45, 9% of 375, 33.75, 9% of 250, 22.5, 9% of 125 is 11.25. Repayment of principal sum. And repayment of principal sum in the first 6 year, 1-6 write 0, 7th year write 125, 8, 9, 10, 125 each. Okay. So if you can just get these two columns right after reading the problem, then you have solved this problem correctly. Now we will go to total cash flow column. Just add these two columns. 45, this 45 plus 125, 170, 33.75 plus 125 is 158.75, 22.50 plus 125 is 147.50. Last one, how much is that? Come on, 136.50, right? Now calculate the annuity factor for 1-6 years at 13%. So start 1 divided by 1.13 equal to, those who have GT function, press 6 times equal to and then press GT function. You will get 3.9975. Those who don't have GT function on calculators, they will use memory plus. 1 divided by 1.13 equal to m plus 6 times and then memory recall. And now come to 7th year. As usual, 1 divided by 1.13 equal to 7 times. That 7th number is 0.4251 equal to again 3762 equal to again 3329 and equal to 2946. So now what you do, multiply these two columns. First, all clear on your calculator. I have to add the last column. It will save time for us. 45 into 3.9975 equal to m plus 179.89. So 170 into 0.4251 equal to m plus 72.27. 158.75 into 0.3762 equal to m plus 59.72. 147.50 into 0.3329 equal to m plus is 49.10, and same thing here, 136.50 into 0.2946 and that is 40.14, and the total comes to 401.12. Again I will ask you to observe, coupon rate is 9%, discount rate is 13%. So therefore the present value of the bond is lower than the face value of the bond. Now there is some space kept in your book here. This we will use for calculating current yield after some time. So just keep it blank. We'll come back to this question. Okay, because we have not yet discussed about current yield. Come to question number 11. One more practice for you. Face value of the bond is ₹1000. Very good. Coupon rate is 10% per annum. Payable annually on the outstanding bond amount. Redemption shall be carried out at ₹500 each at the end of year 4 and year 5. So what is the redemption pattern? Year 1, 2, 3, no redemption. In year 4, they will redeem 500, and in year 5, they are going to redeem another 500 rupees. Okay. Then find out the price of the bond if the investor expects 12% per annum return. So you have to calculate interest in year 1, 2, 3 and 4 on 1000 rupees. On 1000 rupees, because this amount will be redeemed at the end of 4th year. And then here you have to compute interest on 500 rupees. So first 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, interest will be calculated on 1000 rupees, and thereafter in the last year the interest will be calculated on 500 rupees. So please solve. Write down the heading calculation of the price of the bond. Calculation of the price of the bond. Format is same. You can just copy from your previous format: year, bond value, coupon, redemption, total cash flow, present value factor at the rate of 12%, and the last column present value. Last column present value. First you draw the format, then we will solve together. So you see, you can write like this: year 1-3, because first 3 year there is no redemption, only coupon will be paid. Then write year 4, year 5. This column is for calculating coupon. So first 3 year 1000 rupees, no doubt. The doubt comes in the 4th year. Should we take 500 or should we take 1000? So as I said in the previous problem also, till the end of the 4th year 1000 rupees is outstanding. So take 1000 and then take 500. What is the coupon rate in this question? The coupon rate is 10%. Very easy, without calculator. 1000 into 10%, 100. Again 100 and 50. And redemption value is nil in the first, second and third year, and then 500 and 500. Total cash flow 100, without calculator 600, again try 550. Now calculate the annuity factor for 3 years at 12%. So ready, 1 divided by 1.12, 3 times equal to GT. Those who don't have GT, M plus. Are you getting 2.4018? Are you getting 2.4018? Say yes. Yes. 4th year, 0.6355, right? 0.5674. And then my job is done. You have to multiply these two columns and add. Use memory plus function to save time. First, all clear. Check whether memory has any number. No. If some calculators, even after pressing all clear, the memory contains the number, press MRC 2 times. Start now. 100 into 2.4018 equal to M plus 240.18. 600 into 0.6355 equal to M plus 381.30. 550 into 0.5674 into equal to M plus 312.07, and then finally we'll take the total MRC, memory recall function, 933.55. All of you please check the answer. This answer is over. So such question you can expect for around 4 marks. They can also ask you to calculate something else, like as we saw, current yield also in the same problem. So this was self-amortizing bond. So whatever we have covered, let us quickly revise. We have covered annual coupon paying bond. We have covered semi-annual coupon paying bond. then we have covered perpetual bond, we have covered self-amortizing bond, and now we are going to cover another important type of bond called deep discount bond or zero coupon bond. So in short we will call it DDB or ZCB, right? What is the important feature of ZCB or DDB? No coupon is paid. No coupon is paid during the life of the bond. Directly the principal amount is paid on maturity. Is it right? So there is only one cash flow which occurs at the end of that project, the end of that bond's life. So it is the simplest question now. You just have to find out the present value of the redemption value. Redemption value can be at par, so then take face value, or if any other amount is given, then take that redemption value, and the formula is nothing but it is the formula of present value of a single cash flow. So present value of a DDB or ZCB is equal to, if the redemption is at par, then face value, or if it is other amount, redemption value divided by 1 plus R to the power n. This is the formula of present value of a single cash flow. Or if you are given the PV factor, then what you do, take the face value or redemption value and multiply by present value factor for given rate of return and number of years. Both formula are same. Now remember, we can use this formula to find the face value or redemption value also given present value. So what you can do, in some future question I am going to multiply present value into 1 plus R raised to n, and that will give me the face value or the redemption value of the zero coupon bond. Or you can use this equation to find the value of R if you are given face value, present value and number of years. Or you can use this formula to find the value of n also. But mostly we will be required to calculate mostly three things. Most of the question will require you to calculate present value. Some question may require you to find out the rate of discount which is given by the company. So if the company issues face value 1000 issued at 600, say 50 rupees, and the life is 5 years, you have to find out what is the rate of interest they are offering in this case. So R can be found out, or in some question we may have to find the face value. So use the same equation and find out the missing figure in case of a zero coupon bond. Okay, the logic is simple. One cash flow will be received on maturity. Find out the present value of that. So now we will solve question number 12, 13, 14. So ready for 12 number? Solve in the book only or in your notebook. A deep discount bond is issued for a maturity period of 10 years and having a par value of 25,000. Find out the value of DDB given that the required rate of return is 15%. Now you have to know the feature of DDB. A DDB will repay you the principal amount on maturity which is after 10 years. And your required rate of return is 10%. So with the help of this diagram I am trying to explain, you can draw also. We have to find the value of this deep discount bond today. After 10 years, you will get 25,000. So what you do? You find out the present value of this using 15% discount rate, right? So solve. First draw this diagram. Suppose I ask you what is the answer, what will be your reply? So 5 seconds to reply. What is the present value of rupees 25,000? You just have to take present value of 25,000. 25,000 divide by 1.15 to the power 10. So waiting for your answer. What is the answer? Let us check. So first write down the heading in your book or in your notebook, calculation of present value of DDB. Present value is equal to face value upon 1 plus r to the power n. You can either write face value or redemption value. In this problem, both are equal. Then you write down the calculation below, 25,000 upon 1.15 to the power 10. So solve this. Type 25,000 on calculator, divide by 1.15, press equal to 10 times, and you will get this answer, 6179.55. You will get this answer, 6179.55. That's it. This answer is over. Now we'll go to next question. Same problem, but this time I will add one more feature, that the required rate of return is 14% per annum compounded semi-annually. No worries. You know, if the rate of return is compounded semi-annually, what you will do? You will make 3 changes. 1, coupon rate will be divided by 2, but in this case coupon rate will not be there because it's a zero coupon bond. Number of years will be multiplied by 2, that I can do, 3 into 2, 6 years, and the required return will divide by 2, that is 14 will be divided by 2. So read the problem first. What is the price of a zero coupon bond having a face value of rupees 1000, redeemable after 3 years with 14% yield per annum compounded semi-annually? Same problem they are asking you again. In case the yield is 14% compounded annually, what is the price? First question first. So write down case 1. Case 1, write down 14% per annum compounded annually. Okay, first I will solve compounded annually. That is easy. Start with easy. Always in the exam, if suppose it's a big exam question paper, search for easy questions first. Those which you can answer confidently and get full marks on those questions. And then you can approach to the difficult part. Like this problem, annual is always easier than semi-annual coupon bond or semi-annual problems. So solve annual. 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.15, 14 to the power 3. So that's very easy. 675. Please check. I am getting 675. Are you also getting it? Then we'll go to case 2. 14% per annum. 14% per annum compounded. 14% per annum compounded semi-annually. So this time your calculation will be like this: 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.14 by 2, or you can directly write 0.07 here. Okay, and number of years you multiply by 2, so 3 into 2. So take on your calculator 1000 divide by 1.07, press equal to 6 times. Press equal to 6 times, and that is 666.30. 666.30. 30. Got it? Now I'm going to ask you a difficult question. What is the price of a zero coupon bond having a face value of rupees 1000, redeemable after 9 months? Now this 9 months is a complicated affair now. When the problem was in year, no problem. But if it is in months, you may have a problem. No question. Okay? That is what we have to learn. Every time I can't give you an easy problem. Sometimes you have to do some extra work. If the required rate of return is, and now they have added 4 questions, given 4 questions to you. First is 18% per annum compounded annually, 18% per annum compounded semi-annually, compounded quarterly and compounded monthly. When you have studied time value of money, you have learned following items. If it is annually, no problem, solve like a normal question. So 9 months will be treated as 9 by 12 years. Okay. Just take 9 by 12 every time when you have to use number of years given in the question. And semi-annually means what you will do, as you have learnt earlier also, in case of semi-annual problem, 2 adjustments we will do. Number of years are multiplied by 2 and this rate of interest will be divided by 2. In case of quarterly compounding, this we will divide by 4 and number of years 9 by 12 will be multiplied by 4. In case of monthly compounding, this will divide by 12 and this number of years 9 by 12 will be multiplied by 12, which means I am going to take 9 by 12 years here. So to solve the problem, I am going to take 9 by 12 into 2, 18 by 12 means I will take 1.5 here. Here I will take 9 into 4, 36 by 12, 3, and here I am going to take 9 by 12 into 12, that is 9 months. So this would be my n, that is the power in the equation, and the interest rate will be 18, 9, 4.5 and this is 1.5. Okay, so now we will start. Write down in your notebook case 1, 18% per annum compounded annually. 18% per annum compounded annually. 18% per annum compounded annually. Present value is equal to 1000 upon 1 plus 0.18 to the power 9 by 12. Number of years are 9 months. 9 months means 9 by 12 years. So simplify 1000 upon 1 plus 0.18 to the power 0.75. Now how will you solve power 0.75? So there is a trick on the calculator, that trick we will use. So all of you please follow me. Those who know, please go ahead. Those who don't know, follow me. Then first you type on your calculator what is the base number here. 1 plus 0.18 means 1.18. So the base number is 1.18. Type, press square root 12 times. Then press minus 1. Then multiply by power. In this case the power is 0.75. Then press plus 1. And now you press multiply equal to 12 times. So what number you are getting on your calculator? You are getting 1.13217. So the value of this number in the denominator is 1.13217. Okay? So you write down, in the next line you write down 1000 divided by 1.13217. This is the value of this power. And now you take 1000 divided by this number, press equal to, you will get approximately this answer 883.259, so which is 26. Okay. Now some of the students are wondering how this is happening. So I am going to dictate what we did for the first time and the last time. If you get any such numbers where the power is in decimal, what will you do? So write down, suppose there is a number a to the power b. Suppose there is a number a to the power b. Here a means 1.18 and b means 0.75. So write down 5 steps. I will dictate, please write. Step 1, write down, take square root of a 12 times. Whatever is that number in the base, take square root 12 times. Then step number 2, press -1. Step number 3, multiply by the power which is b. In our example, the power is 0.75. Step number 4, press +1. And step number 5, press multiply equal to 12 times. Multiply equal to 12 times. So I repeat, because I am going to require this for many other calculations in this chapter. If you are getting power in fraction like this, not a whole number, press square root of the base number 12 times, press -1, multiply by the power b, press +1, and step 5, multiply equal to, do this exercise 12 times. And the answer will be the value of this factor, and then you can use it for solving the problem. Most probably in the exam, if such questions are asked, they give you the value of 1.18 to the power 0.75. But in case if not given, then be self-reliant, Atmanirbhar, okay? Don't depend on institute. Okay, now write down case 2. Case 2 heading, write down 18% per annum compounded semi-annually. 18% per annum compounded semi-annually. 18% per annum compounded semi-annually. Present value is equal to 1000 upon 1 plus. Now what you will do? You will divide this interest rate by 2. 1 plus 0.18 by 2, and you will multiply 9 by 12 into 2. So 9 by 12 into 2 will become 9 by 6. 9 by 12 into 2 will become 9 by 6 or 1.5. So you can directly write 1.5, or otherwise 9 by 12 into 2, 9 by 6. So now you simplify it for further calculations. 1000 upon 1 plus 0.09 to the power 1.5. Now again you have to follow my instruction because the power is in fraction. It is not a whole number. So please type on your calculator 1.09. Press square root 12 times. Minus 1. Multiplied by 1.5. Plus 1. Multiply equal to 12 times. You will get some factor, write it there. And then 1000 divide by that factor which you have got. Your answer should be 878.74. Your answer should be 878.74. Please check. Now, next case 3 write down. Case 3. 18% per annum compounded quarterly. 18% per annum compounded quarterly. Present value is equal to 1000 upon 1 plus 0.18 divided by 4 to the power 9 by 12 into 4. So mentally do the 9 by 12 into 4. 9 by 12 into 4. So 4 will cut 12, you will get 3. So it becomes 9 by 3. And then you simplify it for further calculation. 1000 divided by 1.045 to the power 3. Now the power is a whole number. So just type on your calculator first 1000 divide by 1.045 3 times equal to. The answer is 876.30. 876.30. As simple as this. And now the last case 4. Case 4 write down heading 18% per annum compounded monthly. 18% per annum compounded monthly. Present value is equal to 1000 upon 1 plus 0.18 divided by 12 months to the power 9 by 12 into 12. 9 by 12 into 12. 12 will cancel. What you get? 9. So 9. So simplify this. 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.015 to the power 9. So how much is that? 1000 divided by 1.015 to the power 9. Again the power is whole number. We can directly get on calculator. Type 1000 divided by 1.015. Press equal to 9 times. Directly. So now you are getting 874.60. You are getting 874.60. Is it right? So this answer is over. Now we'll come to paragraph 7. Dirty price and clean price of the bond. Dirty price and clean price of the bond. So I am going to explain the reason what is this dirty price and clean price of the bond calculated for. A company pays coupon on 31st of December every year. So last time the coupon was paid was on 31st December 2021. And the next coupon will be paid on 31/12/2022. Correct? This is the interest paid already by the company. This is the next interest that the company is going to pay. Next. Now in the previous 14 questions, we have done the valuation of the bond at this point, that is when all the coupons are pending and the last coupon has already been paid. But in bond market, suppose you go to the bond market on 1st of May 2022 and you want to buy this bond. Now this bond contains interest which has already accrued for 4 months. How to value such bonds? Because it is neither here nor here. You have learned the calculation of when all the coupons are pending and the redemption is pending. But here, if the bond is being valued between two interest payment date, then it should also include the interest which has accrued. Next thing, who was holding the bond from 31st December to 1st May? The previous owner. Who is going to hold the bond from 1st May to 31st December 22? The new owner. To whom the company will pay the interest? On 31/12/2022, the company will pay interest to whom? The new owner or the previous owner? So the company will pay interest to that party whose name will appear in the register of bondholder on 31st December 2022. Company is not going to pay 4 months interest to previous owner and 8 months interest to the new owner. In a year, suppose this bond changes hand 24 times. Is the company going to pay interest to 24 different owners? No, you have to settle among yourself. You have to include the interest accrued in the pricing. Company will pay only to the person whose name will appear on 31st December 2022. So now the person who is owning this bond will ask the buyer on 1st May that you please compensate me for the interest which has accrued, because you are going to enjoy the interest for 12 months. The buyer on 1/5/2022 will enjoy the interest for 12 months, whereas he is holding the bond only for a period of 8 months. So therefore, the buyer of the bond on 1st May will compensate the seller of the bond for 4 months interest which has accrued, right? So now what we will have to do, we have to compute two prices here. One is called X interest price and one is called cum interest price. X interest price means the price of the bond does not include interest. Interest will be paid separately. Just like some shop says, the price of this calculator is 300 plus 5% GST. The other shop says the price of this calculator is 315 rupees including GST. You are paying GST 15 in both cases. It's only how the price is communicated to you. So same thing happens in bond market also. If in the bond market the price is X interest, the buyer has to pay interest which has already accrued from the last interest payment to the date of transaction. If the price is quoted at cum interest, the buyer does not have to pay interest separately. The price includes interest accrued. Oh, this reminds you of your intermediate accounts. There were two chapters, investment accounting and debenture accounting. There also you have solved problems which have X interest and cum interest. Okay, and you have done the calculation of interest accrued from the last interest payment date till the date of transaction. Understood? Now in this chapter, X interest price is called clean price and cum interest price is called dirty price. So in some question they may use the term cum interest price, which is dirty price in our note, and if they use the term ex interest price, it is clean price. So how do we value the bond on 1st April or 1st May here in between two coupon payment date? So first I'll value the bond here. That I can do on any date. I can value the bond either this date or this date. If I value the bond here, which is what we will do, the procedure we will follow is to value the bond here. You again discount it by 8 months. In our example, 8 months. 1st May to 31/12 is 8 months. That will give you the value at this point. Is it right? So first you value on 31/12/22, the next coupon date. You pull it back. How much is the gap? 8 months. And then you find out the value on the valuation date and do the adjustment of the interest to find interest price or ex interest price. So I hope now that gives you some idea what is the purpose of calculating clean price and dirty price. This requirement comes only when a bond has to be valued between two coupon dates. Okay. So now let us come back to our notes. First we'll see dirty price. Dirty price, just write in bracket cum interest price, and then the matter is simple. Dirty price of a bond means cum interest price of a bond represent the present value of all future cash flow associated with the bond and includes, underline, and includes interest accrued on its next coupon. So cum interest price includes interest which has accrued up to the date of transaction. Then what is clean price? Clean price means the dirty price of a bond less accrued interest. So cum interest price minus interest is ex interest price. Same thing here, dirty price minus interest accrued is clean price. So what is the difference between dirty price and clean price? The accrued interest. So the equations are like this. If you want to find clean price, it is equal to dirty price minus accrued interest. If you want to find dirty price, it is clean price plus accrued interest. Accrued interest is calculated since the last interest payment date till the date of transaction. Suppose the last interest was paid on 31st December 2021 and the transaction is taking place on 1st May 2022. So accrued interest will be calculated from 1st January 2022 to 1st May 2022, and that is 4 months. Only this much care you have to take, and those who are a good student of accounts in intermediate, they will remember you have done exactly similar calculation for investment and debenture chapter. The dirty price of the bond changes regularly. The dirty price of the bond changes regularly. Why? Because with every passing day, the accrued interest will keep on getting added. Okay. So suppose you are valuing on 1st May, it will include interest of 4 months. But if you are valuing on 15th May, it will include interest of 4.5 months. So therefore the dirty price will keep changing every day because the interest will keep on getting accrued and you are going to include that in the price. Whereas the clean price is more stable and thus is generally used in the market to quote the price of the bond. Now I will again repeat, the buyer of the bond has to pay for interest accrued till the date of transaction. It is only how the price is quoted in the market. It is a matter of convention. in market there are certain conventions so that everybody who is doing the business in that market knows what the other party is talking, right? In some market, like for example, if you buy from Amazon some product, the price is including of all taxes. So when you receive the invoice, you'll find that total is what was quoted on the website, but the breakup includes some interest or some GST or other taxes also. But when you go to purchase something from a shop, okay, so they might quote you the price which is basic price, and they will write plus GST, all taxes separately, all taxes will be charged as applicable. So they are giving basic price. So now what will happen? Suppose the government tomorrow changes the GST rate. The one who quotes all inclusive will have to revise its price. But the one who only quotes basic price plus taxes extra will not have to revise the price. Same logic goes to clean price also. So the market which quotes clean price will not have to quote it or revise it every time. They will just say clean price plus accrued interest. Whereas the one who says dirty price will have to revise that price every day. Who are we? We are student. We will solve what is asked. Okay. Now I am going to dictate a very important note, how to solve problems of clean price and dirty price of a bond. So write down in the notebook. This is to be written in the notebook, 4 steps. You will write one below the other. Okay, I have presented it for a interesting, eye-pleasing presentation, but otherwise the student will just write 1, 2, 3, 4. Heading write down. Steps to calculate dirty price and clean price of the bond. Steps to calculate the dirty price and clean price of the bond. In bracket write down, that is bond valuation between two interest payment dates. That is bond valuation between two interest payment dates. So first you write it, immediately we'll take a problem so that you can connect the theory to the practice. So first write down in your notebook step 1, calculate the clean price on the next interest date. Calculate the clean price. Step 1, calculate the clean price on the next interest payment date. And how do you calculate it? Write in bracket, as usual, present value of coupons plus present value of redemption. Present value of coupon plus present value of redemption. Okay. So our valuation date is 1st May 2022. Next coupon date is 31/12/22, and this bond will mature on, suppose, 31/12/27, year of maturity, date of maturity. So first you find out the value of this bond at this point, which is easier. So this bond will generate coupon in year 2023, 24, 25, 26 and 27, means 5 more coupons will be paid in future. Okay, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So calculate the present value of coupon plus the present value of redemption value. Do not include this coupon which is also pending in the first step. In the first step, if suppose you have to value on 31/12/22, you will see how many more coupons are pending. 5 more. Compute present value. But you know, you are standing on 1st May. 31/12/22 coupon is also pending. So that you add in the step number 2. Calculate the dirty price on next coupon date. So after computing this value, suppose this comes to 960 and one coupon of 80 rupees is pending here. So I will add 960 plus 80. I will get dirty price here. I will get dirty price because it has included the interest also now for this 12 months period. Then after getting the value here, I will now discount it. Step 3. Calculate the dirty price on the date of valuation. You have got a value on 31/12/22. You have to pull it down to 1/5/22. That means this amount will be discounted. And the time for discounting will be count 1/5/22 to 31/12/22. So the time period will be 8 months in this example. So you will get the dirty price on 1/5/22. The present value of dirty is also dirty. Now this dirty price on 1/5/22 includes the interest accrued here for 4 months. So step number 4, what I will do, from the dirty price I will deduct the interest accrued for 4 months, and that will give me CP, clean price. Okay, so dirty price less interest will give me the clean price on the valuation date. Once again, first calculate the clean price on the next valuation date, coupon date. Then add the coupon, you will get dirty price. Calculate the present value of dirty price on valuation date minus interest accrued from the last interest payment date till the date of transaction, and that will give you clean price on valuation date. So after writing this and understanding a little bit, I don't expect you have understood everything, because unless you see some numbers, okay, you will not enjoy the problem, the discussion. So here is a question number 15 for you, and very important, tick mark, because a similar problem was asked in the exam also. So write down important similar exam question. Consider a bond with the following features. Face value rupees 1000. Coupon rate is 14%. Coupon payable annually on December end. Underline annually, because I am going to solve one problem for you which has semi-annual coupon also. So how to handle annual problem, how to handle semi-annual, both you have to learn. Both are asked in the exam. Valuation date is 1st April 2010 and maturity date is 31st December 2022. So interest payments are made on December. You are doing valuation on 1st April. This bond will mature in 2022. This is your discount rate, that is 16%. Find out the full price. Full price means dirty price. Dirty price means cum interest price. That should exist on 1st April 2010. So when you are valuing on between two coupon payment date, it will include some interest accrued. So that is why it is called dirty price. And then divide the dirty price into two parts, interest accrued and clean price. So out of this amount you have calculated, how much is interest accrued and how much is the clean price of the bond. To make your understanding easier, I am going to draw a timeline in this question. So you also follow me. Take a scale, draw a straight line, and there are 4 important dates in this problem. Which are these 4 important dates? First important date is 31st December 2009. Why it is significant? Up to 31/12/2009, the company has already paid the interest. Okay, so I will call it last interest payment date, 31/12/2009. And the most important date is this one. I have to value the bond on 1st April 2010. The question has asked you to find out the clean price, dirty price and accrued interest on 1st April 2010. Next interest payment date is important now, 31/12/2010, because the company pays interest only on 31st December of each year. So this is called next interest payment date. This is called next interest payment date, and the last date is 31/12/22, which is the maturity date. This is the date when the bond will mature. So I am sure you have understood these dates. We have to value the bond on this date. What is the time between these two dates? 3 months. So write 3 months. Interest has accrued for 3 months. What is the gap between date of valuation and the next interest payment date? 9 months. 9 months. Now this 9 months will be required because you have to discount this 31st December 2010 value to 1st April 2010. So for 9 months you have to move backward. And then if I look at these two dates, so how many years are pending now? 12 years are pending total. 2011, 12 and 10 more years. So after 12 years this bond will be maturing from this date. How many coupons are pending? How many coupons are pending? Guess. 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So if I have to compute the clean price on 31st December, I will take remaining coupon. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 coupons will be received after this date. Okay, and plus you will get the maturity value. And of course, this coupon is also pending. The coupon of 31st December 2010 is also pending. So 12 will be required for clean price, and you add this also, that will give you dirty price. So now write down above, from this date 12 years are pending. So 140 rupees coupon. Why 140? Because 1000 into 14%. 140 coupon 12 times. To calculate clean price, 140 rupees coupon will be received 12 times. And then on the maturity date, you receive coupon plus redemption value. So remember, when you compute the clean price on this date, take 12 coupons of 140 rupees each and redemption value of 1000 rupees. Okay, now forget everything. Suppose you have to find the value of this bond here, and the problem says 12 years are remaining, 140 is coupon, 1000 is redemption value, and discount rate is 16%. What is the value of the bond? So that is my first step. This is what we have been doing so far. Finding the value of a bond on a given date, clean price on 31st December 2010. So is equal to 140. What is 140? It is the coupon into present value annuity factor. bracket 16% is the discount rate, 12 times the coupon is pending, 12 years, excluding the coupon that you are going to receive on 31st December, and plus 1000 into PV factor 16% comma 12 years. So first you calculate the annuity factor on your calculator. 1 divided by 1.16 equal to 12 times. Press GT function. So you will get, I think, 5.1971. This is the annuity factor for 16% 12 years. And plus 12th year factor. 12th year factor is 1 divided by 1.16 equal to 12 times. The 12th factor is 0.1685. So this is the present value of remaining coupons plus present value of redemption value. This is what we have written in step 1. Solve. The final answer would be 896.10. 896.10, correct? But remember, this 31st December 2010 coupon is also still due. We are right now valuing the bond on 1st April. So even the person holding the bond will receive the coupon on this date. So if I add that also, so it will become dirty price. So step number 2, write down dirty price on 31st December 2010. If I add interest accrued for 1 year, that is 12 months, so the clean price will become dirty price. Clean price plus interest for 12 months, 896.10 plus 140. 896.10 plus 140 is equal to 1036.10. 1036.10. Now this is dirty price on 31st December. Okay. So understand where we are standing right now. 1036 is the value here. Don't write, understand. So this I have to discount and bring it here. So the number of months are 9 months. 9 months means 9 by 12 years. And the interest rate is, or discounting factor is 16% per annum. So since it is annual calculation, this will remain 16%, but the number of years will become 9 by 12. So step number 3, write. Step number 3, write dirty price on 1st April 2010. Dirty price on 1st April 2010 is equal to 1036.10 divided by 1.16 to the power 9 by 12, because 9 months means 9 by 12 years. Okay. So that is equal to 1036.10 divided by 1.16 to the power 0.75. 1.16 to the power 0.75. This is point. So what you do, I have given you a trick on your calculator. What is the trick? You first type 1.16. Press square root 12 times. Minus 1. Multiply by 0.75. Plus 1. Multiply equal to 12 times. You will get some factor on your calculator. So in your next step, you write down yourself 1036.10 divided by that factor, which will be 1 point something. Now final answer, 1036.10 divided by that factor will give you 926.95. This is dirty price on 1st April, 926.95. So now we are standing here on 1st April with a dirty price of 926.95 or whatever number you got it. This includes interest accrued for 3 months. So I will remove the interest accrued for 3 months. So that will give me clean price. So write down step number 4. The last step. This amount of rupees 926.95 includes accrued interest for last 3 months. Includes accrued interest for last 3 months. Includes accrued interest for last 3 months. That is 1000 into 14% into 3 by 12 into 3 by 12. 1000 into 14% into 3 by 12 is the interest accrued from the last interest payment date till the date of transaction. It comes to 35. Therefore clean price on 1st April, is equal to 926.95 minus 35. That is equal to 891.85. That is equal to 891.85, right? So this answer is over. Now we'll take a break.